This is the official audit record for the NASDAQ 100 index, designated US100. We are documenting cycle ID US100-34, recorded April 15, 2026. This log tracks the alternative scenario path for this cycle. The sequence recorded here progresses from Phase 1, moves directly to Phase 3, retraces down to Phase 2, and concludes at Phase 4. For public model documentation, note this is not financial advice. Leverage above 10 is prohibited, and essential personal funds should not be invested. The purpose here is not to predict the market. Instead, we track a predetermined, strictly defined geometric path against subsequent raw market data. This Phase 1 chart displays static boundaries. It establishes primary entry M at $25,316.04 and secondary entry PC at $24,981.03, setting mean entry at $25,148.85. Fixed limits apply. Trapezoid time duration is 19 days. The third triangle domain is locked at 3.82%. Establishing these physical boundaries up front creates an inflexible baseline. Every future burst of market volatility will be measured directly against this exact geometry. Both trade sizes are calculated using the hypothetical capital, the investor's maximum allowed drawdown, the third triangle domain percentage, the risk coefficient, and the contract size. Feeding those specific values into the risk equation, we start with a $100,000 hypothetical capital base. We apply a strict 5% expected maximum drawdown limit, capping risk at $5,000, and an expected low price of $22,266.08. Factoring in a 10-unit contract size, the overall position size calculates to 0.17. This yields the critical operational metric. Each trade size must equal exactly 0.08 units. Targets are $25,425, $25,800, and $26,242. Under Scenario 2, the expected profit is $1,395, representing a 1.39% return. Locking in that 0.08 trade size anchors the mathematics of the cycle. It's the exact measurement required to prevent the 5% drawdown from being breached. This chart shows the first major shift. The price moved upward to hit apex N at $25,800, skipping the secondary PC entry. The initial M position remained open. Hitting N triggered an automated defense, closing half the positions and securing $193 into the safety buffer. By reaching apex N before retracing downward, the model confirmed it was no longer following the normal sequence. The execution timeline was now officially operating on the 1324 alternative path. This chart details the sudden structural correction that followed. The market visibly dropped to $24,138.07, which fully activated both the M and the lower PC entry positions. Following that deep retracement, the price eventually recovered upward, touching the trapezoid lower boundary at exactly $25,425. The timeline, however, showed a notable deviation. This physical contact with the boundary occurred exactly 5 days outside of the designated trapezoid right time boundary, an event classified as a mirror delay. To account for this delay, the cycle constraints updated automatically. The safety buffer increased to $414, and the structural risk boundary locked firmly in place at $21,765. The occurrence of a mirror delay demonstrates the system's dynamic capacity. It adjusts structural risk boundaries to absorb a delayed schedule while still remaining inside the original mathematical parameters. This final chart visualizes the resolution of the path. The price pushed upward to hit level N again, and ultimately reached the absolute top of the trapezoid upper boundary. Hitting this spatial ceiling triggered the closure of all remaining open positions and completed the cycle. The complete path exposed the system to significant pressure. The lowest visible price along the journey sank to $22,782, resulting in a maximum capital drawdown of -$3,373. The cycle's successful completion confirms the structural geometry held intact, managing the required parameters despite the violent market retracements recorded midway through the timeline. We conclude by auditing the Phase 1 forecasts against reality. The expected maximum drawdown was set at 5%. The realized drawdown reached only 3.73%. The expected return was projected at 1.39%. The final realized return matched closely at 1.32%, securing a total absolute profit of $1,317. The largest discrepancy occurred in the sequence schedule. The expected trapezoid time duration was 19 days, whereas the actual realized time duration extended out to 72 days. This completes the audit of the alternate sequence. Despite a time duration stretching nearly 4 times longer than projected, the rigorous mathematical sizing established back in Phase 1 functioned as designed. It successfully absorbed the delay and prevented the maximum drawdown from ever breaching the 5% risk threshold.